Alright guys, I'm Taylor Weber, three-time Pan American Sports Sambo champion and International Combat Sambo medalist. I want to break down these clips from the new John Wick movie, The Ballerina with Ana de Armas. I think it's really cool that Sambo is being shown off on the big screen. Actually, it was shown off in John Wick 2 as well, and I actually had some of my friends that were there filming it. I do wish they would have brought back some legit Sambists for this, but it's still really cool seeing Sambo shown off on the big screen. So let's get right into it. Nice knees right there. That was pretty good. It does look a little bit more choreographed than some of the other older John Wick movies, but still really cool. One interesting thing that I'm seeing already, he's got shorts on. Why does she have pants on? That's not something you see in Sambo. That's like a judo and jiu-jitsu thing. We all have shorts in Sambo, so I find the red pants very interesting. Otherwise, the Kirkas on the top, shoulder pads, actually look like fairly nice Kirkas. But yeah, no problem there. Nice little uppercut. No gloves, which makes more sense since they're training to be assassins. They wouldn't have gloves on. I can see that. Okay. Fit in the start of Ippon Seoinage, and then band work. The only thing I don't like about this band work is doing it on the bag. Doing it on the bag kind of takes out the point of doing bands, in my opinion, because you're supposed to have it tied to something solid so that you get the resistance from the band. If the bag is swinging every time you do a fit-in, and this is a very, very common thing for sambists and judoka to do to practice with those. Boom, you do fit-ins with the band. Boom, boom. You can do pulls. You can do all the way through fit-ins. However you want to do it. But I think it's kind of funny doing it around the bag because as soon as you pull, the tension's going to be gone because the bag is going to swing. But this transition was really nice. So let's go back through it real quick. Okay, good form on her band work as I'm rewinding. Let's go back just a little bit. Alright. Okay, not bad. She's pulling the sleeve high for the Seoinage. Pretty good, pretty good. Alright. I think it cuts off. I think one issue is it looks like she's about to have his arm on her shoulder if you were to continue this clip out. But good high sleeve pull right there. Maybe the wrist shouldn't be bent like this. You see? But otherwise, not too bad. I'm just being real picky. Cool transition, though. Like, the transition to her doing band work after that, very cool. And band work is super useful. I'm just being super picky right now. Alright, so armbar. Everything looks pretty good. Her knees are squeezed together. I don't know what this transition was meant to be. I don't see where that was supposed to go. Pretty good kick right there. Just working on the bag. Swinging her arm through. Looks like she turned her hips over. So no complaints right there. Interesting. Okay. So right there, she kicks the guy's hand. That seems a little impractical. This kick right here. Having the timing and accuracy to do that, I just don't see it happening. But where she kicks him, well, that right there actually is pretty useful. I use that a lot of times in when I go to jiu-jitsu or something and someone's working guard. I won't kick them, right? Because you're not supposed to in jiu-jitsu, but I'll put my foot on their chest and push and press them off. Gets them out of guard a lot of times. I'll have my knee frame, knee across their waist. I'll have a knee frame in, have my arms frame, and then I'll just plant my foot right in their chest and push off, and then stand up. If I don't want to be on bottom, super useful right there. Also, they're using colored belts. That was interesting. Let's go back just a second. Okay. First time I watched this, I didn't understand what was happening. Looks like she's going for a Hizaguruma, almost. Where there, she should be pulling with this sleeve, pushing here. Definitely a lot more choreographed, as you can see. She's kind of just jumping over. you wouldn't really see a Hizaguruma have that sort of effect where he's up in the air and he's jumping over like that. Nice Tomonage, though. Let's go back. There. Alright. Him using that momentum to go around and do Tomonage is actually pretty cool. See, why the pants? Why does he have pants? Why does he have pants? Why does this girl have shorts? What's the difference? I don't know why that bothers me so much. The, like, fully colored belts is also bothering me just slightly. You will see that in some places. Here or there. But traditionally, you just have, if you have a red kurka on, it's a red belt. If you have a blue kurka on, it's a blue belt. There is, like, a new grading system where they have a area where you can put the color on the, like, tassels or the end of the belt where it's hanging down. There's a grading system that FIAS has. It's not widely implemented, but it is there. She's a brown belt. She's pretty advanced, I guess, at this point. Not quite a black belt, but almost there. Cool. Another good Ippon Seoinage right now. Right there. Let's go back. Let's see if I can break this down, like, frame by frame. Right there. Okay. From what I can see, it looks very good. Like, he's pulling crossbody. Yeah, very traditional Sambo judo move. Okay, this Osoto. This one is very interesting because you can see here, you see all this space. This, like, if you were actually fighting, the reason why she didn't get this Osoto is because of all this space. She's not pulling this sleeve enough, and this arm is left behind her, like back here. There's no way you're going to get enough Kazushi or pull or off balancing to be able to throw someone with that much space between you. So I do find that very interesting. And then, yeah, looking back at him like, hey, why is this not working? Yeah, it's because you have no, like, you haven't off-balanced him at all. And I cut this part out, but there was a little clip afterwards where her teacher was saying, don't fight like you're trying to be strong. Like, she says he's too strong. And she's like, fight like a girl. But it doesn't seem like she has too much Kazushi or off-balancing here. If she was actually fighting, naturally, he counters her right back with an Osoto. Actually, quite good Osoto, too. Like, head's going down, legs coming up at the same time. He's on his toes a little bit. The player is getting in the way of that. But yeah, as you can see, he's a little bit on his toes, going in the right direction. Good Osoto. This guy seems to be her nemesis whenever I've watched the trailer through. It just looks like he's in a judo gi top, other than like a judo gi top with shoulder pads. The pants really, really bother me, and the full-on brown belt. It gets on my nerves a little bit. Okay. Should have extended her jab right there a little bit further, right? We're going through it. Let's see if we can get through this. Rearing her jab back, pulling it back before punching. Obviously, he's going to block it. And then, I think, almost fully extended. But he didn't really even have to pull right there. Also, the other hand coming back down to her chest right there. I would have liked to see all the way out there, keeping this hand up. But obviously still a movie. It doesn't look like the striking you would see in most combat Sambo. I'm being very nitpicky. Like, okay, this is funny. This is interesting. Nut shots were allowed in combat Sambo until only a few years ago. I don't know the exact date of whenever they weren't allowed anymore, but in combat Sambo, nut shots were allowed because it was like a self-defense without weapon system. It wasn't meant to be just a sport in the very beginning. It was training for the Russian military. But I think it's funny that they had nut shots in there. They're now banned in combat Sambo. But for a while they were allowed. Were they a dirty move? Yes. And would refs sometimes still stop the match and tell you, hey, don't do that? Yes. But they were allowed, technically. Interesting. Okay, the clap on the ears. That, I guess, would technically be allowed in combat Sambo. The actual effectiveness of it not likely against another skilled opponent. Which everyone in here has belt ranks and has been training since a child, to like the backstory of the movie. So highly unlikely. Can that actually disrupt someone's like balance? I don't actually know. So that's not very Sambo, but still, it's still cool. This, I like this a lot. This is like our front scissors throw. That actually is a like pretty not common. You don't see it all the time, but that is a very Sambo throw. That throw, that would technically be like Ippon, or like that's 4 points in Sambo. And there are Sambo guys that have gone to judo tournaments and thrown that exact throw, the front scissor, and they didn't get it scored because the refs didn't know what happened. They didn't understand that it was a throw. So that's the like most Sambo thing that you're seeing in this whole thing. That is very, very like Sambo right there. I'll actually watch it again. Typically it's done a little bit lower, like not both legs around the body, but still very cool. And one more kick in the nuts for good measure. You're not actually allowed to, based on the rules, strike an opponent that is downed while you are standing. I've actually gotten disqualified for this. There's a guy that dropped down in front of me, and I grabbed him, boom, 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 3 punches to the face while he was downed. And I thought it was like UFC rules or like MMA rules. I say UFC rules. I know MMA is not UFC, but there are other rule sets, things like Ryzen, wherever you can knee people in the head while they're grounded. But I thought it was like the unified rules of MMA, where you can punch someone that's down while you're standing, but you cannot knee or kick them. So I thought that was what the case was, but no, I got disqualified for it, and lost that match. To be fair, Zach, I would have lost that match probably anyways. It was my first time doing combat Sambo, and I had never hard sparred before. I'd only done like 4 or 5 months of like kickboxing. I was a judo black belt, and I did like 4 or 5 months of just like kickboxing with some light sparring. And I was like, you know what, let's just hop in there for fun. But yeah, so nut chops were allowed. Kicks and punches to a ground opponent, not allowed. Obviously, still really cool seeing Ana de Armas doing Sambo in a movie, and just Sambo being shown off in the big screen, especially a film like John Wick, one that I really love. If you go through all the John Wick movies, you're going to see a ton of judo and Sambo in all of them. Very good throws. It's good stuff. So go watch the movie if you can. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this review of the Sambo in John Wick the Ballerina. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment about what you think about this showing off of Sambo in a movie, how accurate you think it was, any problems you had with it, anything like that. Let me know in the comments down below. If you're one of my Boo subscribers, check out the Patreon down below. We'll have all sorts of content for you guys there. But hope you have a good day. All right, ready? 1, 2.